Four things that clients want. They have specific needs, whatever they buy. They have specific needs, and they have wants. They have wants, and the next thing they also have preconceived ideas. My case. There's something familiar for you. Disney. Got a great book. I urge you to buy this book. Be Our Guest. The Art of Perfecting Customer Service. Who's ever been to Disney? Everybody's been to Disney. My brother went to Disney for the first time 2 years ago. He's 63 years old at the time, and he's in sales all his life. I said either he's going to love it or he's going to hate it, because he's critical. He's the best salesman. He's good. But then he comes back a week later. He was blown away. I said, wow, they got to you, did they? Yeah, why? Because it's premium quality service. Premium quality service. Some people may think it's over the board, but 99% of the people don't. So those are the buyers. That 1% they don't care about. I bought that book because there's such a thing as a Disney Institute of Customer Service. And they have a course. It's not a cheap course as far as money is concerned, but it's the best course in the world to improve customer service. So therefore I said, well, aside from going to the course, I said, what's in this book? 3 pages. Here's what the 4 things that the clients actually want, and this is what it's coming out of that book. It's coming out of that book. There are 4 things that clients want. They have specific needs, whatever they buy. They have specific needs, and they have wants. They have wants, and the next thing they also have preconceived ideas, fears connected with that. They buy a car, they're afraid of falling into this used car salesman syndrome, the guy with the checkered jacket and the checkered tie on the other side and the brown pants or whatever, you know. We all have a picture of this used car salesperson, don't we? So then that's a fear. And the next one would be the emotions and the value that's attached to it, okay? Let's see how we can actually work this out, okay? And I'll start with this story. I was coaching a lady a couple of years ago in Vancouver, BC, and she was going to a wedding show, wedding fair, and she wanted to make a brochure. So what's in the brochure? I said, what are you going to put in the brochure? And she started telling me that we're going to 50% off this and blah, blah. I said, no, don't go to the trade show if you're going to take a brochure with a 50% off thing. I want you to call your clients, 2 or 3 of clients of last year's, those that are really happy about the service that you provided, and ask them what was their biggest fear when they started shopping for a photographer for their wedding. Could you guess? Can anybody guess? Can anybody guess?
No photos.
Dependability. Dependability?
Dependability. What else?
That they would have some photos.
That they would have some photos, yes.
That they would miss a shot.
That they would miss a shot. Yes, what else?
That the photographer would show up.
The photographer would show up. You see? You know what the client said? I was afraid not to like my photographer. Crazy, huh? So what would be his, how did we design the brochure? Are you afraid of not liking your photographer on this most special day? That would be the question, right on the top of that brochure. And then you expand on that in the brochure. And you get testimonials from that lady as well. You support that with testimonials. Makes it a lot of valuable. So ask your clients, what was the main concern when you came to me for your family portrait session or for your wedding? So let's move on to a car dealership. The car dealership, what do we want? What do we need? We need a car. We need wheels. We need to move around. Transportation, wishes, liberty and status, reliability. We got a good investment, although a car may not be an investment, but it's still. Preconceived ideas, salesman attitude, get sucked into a higher priced auto that we don't want. How many of you have actually gone into a dealership to buy a new car, had a definite budget in mind and walked away with the same money spent. How many? 1 out of 50 some. Good for you, sir. Boom. Kudos. I've never made it that way. So anyway, or you can't afford the car. What's your feelings? The feeling of owning a new car. You know the feeling of owning a new car. You come out of the lot, smells leather, it's cool stuff, you know. Buyer's remorse the next day, oh, I shouldn't have bought that. Or maybe someone said, yeah, I shouldn't have bought that. And then the pride of ownership, that could be that's a positive feeling, is it not? Proud of driving those wheels. And the liberty of the feeling of liberty. Let's look at portrait photography. What do the people need? Great photographs. What do they really want? Home decor, storytelling, record of events that bring people together, preservation of events, and so on and so forth. What are their preconceived ideas? It takes a long time in the studio. What's the average time of your photography session? What's your average time of photography session? An hour? 2 hours? 45 minutes? How many of you actually do a portrait on black background, white background, and mid-range background? 3 different light styles. How many of you do that? Okay. Okay. Now here's my take on this. During the pre-consultation, the client comes to you, as we said earlier, because of a signature. They were impressed by something, somehow, on your website, in their friend's house, or on your walls. They were impressed with one style of photography. We have to qualify them on that particular style and work towards that only. Number one, the reason for that is that they were attracted by that, so you have to provide this service. Then if you put yourself to the burden of creating different styles, different background, and whatever, you'll lose them in a sales room. Number one, there will be no harmony in all the photography that you've done. Try to do a collection with photographs on black background, white background, and mid-key and whatever. There's no harmony. So selling a collection would be a difficult thing to do, right? So I do suggest really qualify the client on what they really want right from the beginning, at the get-go. When they walk into your studio, the studio is all set up, the lighting measures are done. You take care of the clients, you don't take care of your lights. The lights are sit there. And you just move them a little bit just to show that you adapt it to the face. Obviously you have some adaptation for the face, but you still just move them. You don't have to carry and start using the light meters. The light meter should be used at all times before the client comes in the studio. Does that make sense? Now, what's the return on that? Number one, the client will be more satisfied on what they're going to get. Number two, the stress, the technical stress that you bear on your shoulders will be like relieved so much, then you know exactly what to do, and it's going to cut down on your shooting time. Yes or yes?
Yes.
Make sense? Yes. So I'm trying to save you a lot of aggravation. Many years ago, I was privileged to work with Dean Collins in one of his seminars. He called me in the seminar in San Diego, and Dean was a good friend, and he said to me, Andre, when you walk in here, I have one goal. He says, you spend a lot of energy with your technical light meters, and I said, yes, I do. I had been in photography for 20 years then. And he says, I'm going to switch that around. I'm going to make sure that your technical is so close to the fingertips that you know it all so quickly that you would invest all that extra energy that you've gained from not investing in the technical and your creativity and the connection with the clients. And in 3 days, he turned me around. He switched me. I was 180 degrees different in my photography, in my technical, in my connection with the clients. Bless him for doing that, because the week after, I was working with a regular client that used to come in all the time. And he said, what the hell happened to you in California? Is there a pill or something? Or the water? Is it the water that does all that? Because I was completely switched and changed. Because I could master my art, my craft much more than I used to before. And I was pretty good then, but then I was much better after. Okay, coming back to the preconceived ideas. Takes a long time in the studio. Too expensive. People walk into a photography studio, they think it's more money. And then as Pepito was saying, you have to tell them, yes, it is more money. But when you come to a photography studio, you don't come in every day. It's one in a lifetime, or twice or three times. These are lifetime moments that you come into a studio and get that special moments frozen in time. And it's worth the investment at this moment. So, but they have in mind, it's a lot of money. It's hard sales. They're afraid to be pushed in the corner and make sense. These are all the ideas that they have in their mind. And it's in a flash of a second. So you have to respond to that. And the emotions, obviously the emotions improve self-confidence, love the results, modern look and exclusivity, fun experience, all in blah, blah. So this would be, now you have, this is what I've done. I've read the book from Disney. And obviously I interpreted the research and made it apply to photography. And you go for portraits, weddings, and commercial. Now, what's the step beyond that? Now, let's start with, so we saw that. Okay. Let's start with the portrait photography. Let's start at the point where we evaluate the emotions and the value of this. So, how do you improve self-confidence? How do you improve self-confidence? You have to show testimonials of past clients. Build a strong relationship. Build a strong relationship. That's how you respond to their quest for more value. Now, how do you add value? Gather and create a book of testimonial, put them on your website, and have a video testimonial on your website. How many of you gather testimonials from your clients? Not that many. They should have all the hands up. How many of you have a video testimonial on your website? Even fewer. You should all have that on your website. All of them, all of you. You don't need 20 minutes of this. It's 2 or 3 minutes. Ask Brad, he's going to do this for you like in a flash. No, he would be good at that. And then you have a couple clips for you taking the photographs behind the scene. And then you see the interaction of the people being photographed. And then you cut, ping, a little testimonial. Well, the reason why I went to your studio, Kim, is because of that and that and that. And then you cut back into the studio where you're having more fun and whatever. And you cut. Check our website with venturephotography.com. Venturephotography.com. It's a franchise studio from England. There's over 100 studios in England. There's about 3 or 4 in the US. And this is a specific signature, this is a specific way of selling. You may agree or not for the photography style. I don't care. You shouldn't care. You should be looking at the website, how it's laid out, how they ask you to interact in the website. It's one of the better websites, commercial website. They do portrait photography. It's a commercial website. It's one of the better ones that I've seen on there because it's engaging. And you'll see the videos on there. That's how we should have a video on your website. You should have one. Because today video streaming is so much easier than it used to be a few years ago. And so I've added some video website, video testimonials on my website and whatever. I'm moving into this because that's the way to go now. Okay, adding video. They love the results. How could they love the results more? Well, you make them feel comfortable. Make them feel at home when they come to your studio. No pressure sales. Reassure them, we're not here to sell you anything, ma'am. We're here to provide you a service. We're here to help you buy whatever you need. If you have any questions, we're here. It's going to be an open conversation. And within a few minutes, you're going to get that connection so quickly. And then it's going to break down that barrier. You see them, and the guy is just sitting there with his arms crossed, and he holds a credit card in his pocket. I mean, you're done. But then the next thing you know, it open the arms, and he leaves on your desk, or he comes over next to you and says, yeah. And then all the body language speaks that I understand. I know you're trying to reach me, and I'm open to be reached. See? Next, create a home-style sales room. Project proofs on a large screen. If you sell from a big screen, computer screen, you're going to sell that size. If you sell on a larger screen, you're going to sell bigger. You know that. Modern look. Now this is the way I interpreted. This is the way I interpreted the research I've done from Disney. And that really changed my attitude towards selling photography from now on. That I knew what the people think. And you could tell them, I know what you're thinking. You think this is going to be an expensive process, right? And if I was you, I'd probably think the same way. But let me take you by the hand through the whole process, and you'll see how I can build value in what I'm providing you. And then you can make an enlightened decision after that. Are we good to go? Yeah, let's continue here. So what is on my walls that really gets your heart racing? Well, this is really speaking to me. Right there, you're qualifying the client, you know exactly what this person wants, and you can take you through the process of buying this service. We will address how to get new clients later. It takes time. We all wish we had a busload of clients coming into our studio, right? Didn't you not tell me that nobody was working less than 40 hours a week? Where are you going to fit a new client? You're already working 60 hours a week. But we'll get to that later.